All right, I'm back again. Trina Jackson, also known as Black Television News and Information. My topic, everybody's been talking about it, Brian Flowers. Brian Flowers is the topic of tonight, of this past week or two, about why we do not have any NFL black coaches. Black people in the NFL, look, we have been complaining about this issue for a long time. And black football players have been relevant in the NFL since the 60s. It amazes me that in the 21st century, we're still talking about the subject. Why are there no black coaches? I feel the reason why there's no black coaches is because they don't want any. See, they already made it up in their mind that they want black males to play for the NFL, to be the football players. And when it comes to coaching or being executives or either owning a league, owning your own football team, they don't want that for us. 2022, and we're still begging for a seat at their table. And Master P has already said a while back, why don't we start our own leagues? Why are we not starting our own leagues? Why are we still begging to be part of their seat when we can create our own seat? The black community now is $1.6 trillion strong. What is going on? Why do black football players of the NFL, black people, still feel the need to want to beg and be part of it? Now, I understand the saying is this, well, if we're good enough to play football, we ought to be good enough to coach. And I understand that that's fine. But as long as we've been relevant in the NFL since the 60s, and you see there were hardly any black coaches, what makes you think they just all of a sudden gonna change their mind and hire a bunch of black coaches? You see that there has not been any drastic change over the past 60 years. So don't you think it's about time to do something creative, to do something different, which is build your own? When are we going to start building our own leagues? Start competing. Because at the end of the day, Ice Cube got his 3L league. Okay, maybe they might not be as big as the NFL or big as the NBA, but he got a league. Do black people want to put in the work to start their own? Are we still trying to have a seat at the table? We had our own leagues before we got integrated. Now we're integrated. We've gotten comfortable with just being happy, being on the football team. And now we're noticing, well, there's not enough black coaches. And now I'm mad. Guess what? There never has been a lot of black coaches. And as far as I'm concerned, they will never have a lot of black coaches in the NFL. So in the 21st century, we're still crying and begging and pleading and want them to hire us. We still want to beg them to be a seat at their table. But we haven't figured out how to create our own seats and have our own people sit at our own tables. This issue to me is very problematic because something ought to snap on the inside and say, hey, look, we're tired. We're not being treated fair. We're not being treated equally. We're good enough to play football, but we're not good enough to do anything else in the NFL space. So why not do something else? Create our own. We got the talent. And after all, from what I heard, 70% of the NFL is composed of black men. You want to make them mad? And you mad? Then piss them off. Hurt them in their pocket. Maybe if we start speaking up and saying, you know what, no more of this, we're going to do our own thing. Let's see what they'll do. Because, see, all this begging and pleading and asking for somebody acceptance, that's not getting us anywhere. Because it's going to come a time when we're going to have to, and I mean have to, start doing our own thing. It's going to come a time we're going to have to start building our own. Because every time I look up, we're the main ones complaining about what ain't right about the NBA. What ain't right about the NFL. And this is not just about the NBA. It's just about we need to own our own leagues, period. Or the NFL, we need to own our own leagues, period. Do we really want to start our own? Do we really think, well, their ice is colder than us? Do we have the belief that we can do it? I'm getting to the point in thinking that we think their ice is colder than ours. I'm beginning to think that we've gotten comfortable because the minute they show us that $40 million contract, we get happy, we jump up and down. And now realizing that we're the $40 million players and they are the $1 trillion owners. Who's really getting played here? We can run, we can jump, we can leap, but we've been running and jumping and leaping and throwing the ball, passing the ball, putting the ball in the hoop for them, and we're not doing it for us. And the light bulb has not clicked in and said, wait a minute, hold up, hold up. Why are we getting 40 million and they the $1 trillion owners? Why are we putting on all this work and still to this day we just play football? We're not involved in any executive decisions. We're not involved in coaching. We're not involved in being a CEO or anything of that importance. What are we going to do about this situation? Does Brian Flores and anybody else black have the right to be mad because we don't have any black coaches? Yeah, but we also got a right to do something about it. We also have a right to create our own. Start small and move up. No, I don't, because if we start small, we're probably gonna be getting about what $100,000 a year. We start our own league, so we gotta start small. No, I'm not doing $100,000 a year. I'd rather stay with them because you get 40 million, but we're $1 trillion strong. We're $1.6 trillion strong. That's why when they come at me with this, well, black folks don't have any money. Black folks got the money. We got 1.6 trillion now. What are we doing with the 1.6 trillion dollars that we got? Where's the plan to start our own leagues where we can pull our money together and say, this is what we're going to do? This is the teams we're going to develop. This is the people we're going to put on our teams in our league. And I'm sorry, black community, but we're not putting our money where our mouth is. Because if it's 2022 and you got black people, where the black coaches? Where the black NFL owners? And the light bulb ain't clicked in yet, basically telling you we're not going to hire a lot of black people being coaches. We're not going to hire a lot of black people being NFL owners. And you don't see it by now? What does that tell you? That tells me that the masses, they're not really interested. That tells me your job is just to play football and run the ball and make money for them. Some people might argue, well, the reason why they don't hire a lot of black coaches is because maybe a lot of them are not qualified to be coaches. And that's a damn lie. What's really going on here? But we want to beg, we want to plead. Kaepernick got on one knee, and no shade against Kaepernick. I'm not throwing shade on him. But it's going to come a time where you're going to have to get off the knee. You're going to have to quit getting mad, pouting about no black coaches. And you're going to have to get to the point where we're going to build our own. We're going to get out of your NFL and we're going to do something different. Because we're tired, we're fed up, we're mad, and we just had enough of this. Because we're going to have to do better. We can't afford to run around here begging somebody, getting pissed off, getting mad over NFL or the NBA that they built. You didn't we didn't build the NBA. We didn't build the NFL. I hate to tell you this, black community, that's their house. And to be honest with you, they got a right to hire who they want to hire as coaches. It's morally wrong, yes, but it's their house that they built. That's like somebody coming over my house, ringing the doorbell. Trina, let me in. And I say no. And why you won't let me in? Because I don't want to let you in. Am I wrong for telling the person I don't want to let you in and I don't have a good uh valid reason for not letting nobody in my house? Yeah, it may be wrong, but at the end of the day, that's my house. See, you gotta understand one thing. They built the NBA. They built the NFL. So if they build the NFL, they're gonna call the shots. They made up the rules. They already decided who is going to be involved in what. And they basically done told the black community, they done told black men, basically, your job is to play the football and let us handle the rest. They built that. Whether you agree with it or not, that was built by them. That wasn't built by no black people. And you can get mad and pissed off at me if you want to, but the NBA and the NFL was not built by nobody black. I believe they hired black males to be on the NBA and the NFL in the 60s because they figured, oh, we can run the ball. We can jump the fastest. We can jump the highest. We can run the fastest. The black man got the speed and the agility to do it. If we put a bunch of black males in the NFL and the NBA, that's going to make us a whole lot of money. And that's what they've done. Because to be honest with you, I don't think the NBA or the NFL wouldn't be where it is today without black men. I seriously don't. Because reality speaking, who wants to watch a bunch of non-black men play football or a bunch of non-black men playing basketball? People don't want to see that. And I'm just keeping it real. I'm not trying to sound racist or discriminatory, but let's keep it 100. When we get to a place where we're gonna get sick and tired of being sick and tired and start doing some changes, you will see some changes happening. Because personally, I don't think we're tired. Because if we were tired, we wouldn't be begging. If we were tired, we wouldn't be begging to see at somebody else's table they created. And in the words of Tyler Perry, while you were sitting at somebody else's table begging, I was creating my own table. That's how you get the respect. And you can say whatever you want to say about Tyler Perry, whether you agree with Tyler Perry or not, whether you like his films or not. I really don't care if you like his films or agree with his content. I really don't. But one thing that man has done, he created his own content and he hired his own people, black people, to act in his films. That's what I call economic empowerment. That's what I call doing for self. Now we all know about he got to go through Lionsgate. That's a different story at a different time. But at the end of the day, he created what he created. And most of the people that are on his TV shows are black people. Those are people that look like us. So as far as I'm concerned, Tyler Perry is practicing group economics. So women, what of us are going to start practicing that? So when are we going to sit there and start building our own leagues, hiring our own people, and try to compete? Because I'm going to tell you something. Most of those NFL football players, when they retire, they ain't got no money. Some do, majority of them don't. They end up broke. Some of them get smart and invest their money, and they got businesses and franchises, thank God. But I think it's more feasible to do for self, get your own leagues. Let's call the shots. Because it's the 21st century. We've been on that NFL field for about 60 years now. That's almost 100 years. It don't make any sense to be on somebody's NFL field and you still complaining about why we don't have this, why we don't have that. Complaining about something you didn't build. Well, we're good enough to play football, but when it comes to anything else, I get your point. I'm not into hitting them in their pocket. Because hitting them in their pocket, in my opinion, is doing for self. Because hitting them in their pockets, basically, in my opinion, is saying, well, we're going to get up there and we're going to protest. We're going to sit out for about a couple of years. And then if we hit them in their pocket, they're going to be forced. Not because they want to, they're going to be forced into hiring somebody black for a coach. Why should we hit somebody in their pocket and force somebody to hire us? When reality speaking, should hire black people if they qualify, the qualified ones, to be coaches. It's time out. Time for all this begging, all this acceptance. What we gonna do? Trying to get a seat at somebody's table. They say they got a black coach for the Miami Dolphins. And from what I heard, he's a biracial dude. He look almost more, you know, the other side more than he looks black. That's irrelevant to me. I really don't care nothing about that. What I care about is when are we gonna start thinking out the box and start doing for self and creating our own. Because I'm beginning to think black people don't want to compete. I'm beginning to think that a lot of us have gotten comfortable with trying to get at somebody's table. We've gotten comfortable with trying to break a door down. I'm tired of us breaking a door down because it's time for us to build our own door. Tired of us taking our foot, trying to knock, knock, instead of build, 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 build. We've been knocking on the door too long and they ain't answering. They are not going to answer the door. You're forcing somebody to answer a door that they don't want to open. forcing a league that you did not build to come and let you in? Are we going to grow up? Are we just going to stay begging and knocking and pleading? Come on, Black community. No shade to Brian Flores, but we gonna have to get to the point. Stop begging. Start building. Time for us to compete. We've been too relevant in the NFL now for 60 years, since the 60s. And if we haven't figured out they really could care less about hiring a lot of Black coaches or on their executive board or anything behind the scenes like that, they're not really interested. They're interested in you as a Black man, basically, to run that ball and make money for them and make their leagues rich. No shade to NFL football players either. But come on, we're going to have to wake up. Begging and being at the seat of somebody's table, just as bad as the Oscars. Begging, how come Black folks don't barely win, and when we gotta be cricket before we take it, and there's no Black people on the board doing these. I don't care no more. Because until we get to a place where we're gonna start building our own stuff, all that begging and stuff don't really matter to me. Wake up. I'm tired of getting mad over something that our people didn't build. And talking about we treated poorly and unfairly, and this is what they do to us. But yet you refuse to get your own. Mm-mm. And you have the money to get your own. We're gonna have to do better. Black community, let's build our own. Stop begging. Start building. Quit knocking on doors, trying to tear somebody's door down. Because all you're going to get is a hurt foot and an injury. And that's all Black people keep doing is getting injured by knocking on somebody's door and basically getting ignored. This is Trina Jackson, also known as Black News, Television, and Information. Think about what I said, and we're going to have to do better, and we must. Good night.